All right, we're recording. You want to kick us off, Kathy?
Yeah, so welcome to our Grow Call. Annie and I were just talking about how excited we are. We have some great things to share, so we're going to tag team today, and you get double the knowledge. How about that? Two accountants tag teaming. That's scary, isn't it, Annie?
It is scary, but fun at the same time. Watch out.
Yes, well, we'll only share one spreadsheet, and I'm letting Annie do it. Welcome. So I'm going to get started here. I'm going to share about one-on-one time. So that is where you give 100% of your attention to each guest at your workshops and tastings. Okay. And as you saw at conference, I start this with my guests around bag 2 or 3 once they're making meals. And this is one of the most important things you will do to keep your calendar booked, build relationships, and trust with your customers. Okay. So it's a big deal. So my goals of my one-on-one time, I go into everything with goals. So, I think that was something on the training we saw that the people that had goals and wrote down goals were, I don't know how much percent more effective, like 89% more effective. So that's a big deal. Okay, so my goals of the one-on-one time is to help the guests with our opportunity. You guys, can you mute the...
Can you guys all mute? Because there's some background noise going on. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. So my goals are to help my guests with the opportunity or as a host or our mealtime solutions, wherever they are on this. And my second goal is to have meaningful conversations with those interested in the opportunity that we offer. My third goal is to keep a full calendar. So it's very important. You don't have a business unless you have 8 bookings. Okay, so it's very important. My personal goal is not to sell a single thing, which is really hysterical if you think about it. But I actually heard Sonara say on a call about 4 years ago that she did not want to sell a grapeseed to somebody. She wanted to give them the opportunity, to give them the chance to host, to do things that were, better off for both of them where they were, okay? So that really hit home. And so my first thing is just, I don't want to go in to sell something. I'm going there to help them where they are, okay? And then, why sell a bottle of grapeseed oil when you can get in front of 12 more people if they host? Okay, so think of it that way. And then my last goal is to really build trust and become friends with every one of my customers. And that's very important, okay? That's what our business is all about. So one of the hardest steps about this, I guess, is I hear a lot of new reps say, I don't know how to set up these conversations. I feel like people just want me to, they don't want to come to me because they're afraid I'm going to try to sell them something, or, I'm kind of shy about talking one-on-one. So one of the most important things that you do is set the expectation of this one-on-one time, okay? It's all about the expectations you guys set, and you guys know that already, right? So when you say this is how it works, that's what they think. That's all they know, okay? So I set this up 2 to 4 times during my presentation, and I'll give you guys some examples of how I do that, okay? So if someone says during my presentation that they have a food allergy or a picky family, I say, great, remind me when we talk one-on-one, and I want to give you some tips, and I have some ideas. I can help you. I know I can help you, okay? And then say, I talk to them about, if it's specific needs or something like that, I'll just say, great, remind me one-on-one, let's talk down or break down the price or things like that, okay? So just using that verbiage to set that up. And I also say during that time is, once we get done starting making our meals, when you get to bag 2 or 3, I'm going to tap on your shoulder and I'm just going to pull you away and we'll talk. It could be 2 minutes and it could be 30 minutes. So we're just going to talk about you. We all want the same end result of having those 10 meals in our freezer, but how we get there is different. So that's why I am here, because I can help with that. So I'm not just going to send you with 10 meals. I'm going to give you a plan going forward too, tailored to you specifically and your family, okay? So I just break that up a couple different times in my presentation. Now, my strategic way of doing this is if I have someone that already was interested in hosting or seems like someone I'd really want to talk to, or I've even had people say, hey, I'm going to sign up as soon as you stop talking, then I'm going to talk to them first, okay? So just be strategic about it and then work your way around that table, okay? So just setting it up, this is what we do. I'm going to grab you and work your way around the table, and then as soon as you get done with your meals, you can rock out of here, okay? This is the most efficient way to do this, okay? If you guys have specific questions on that, we can talk about that. Okay. Okay, so the location for a one-on-one time is important too. So you want to go back to the place where you gave your presentation, where they felt comfortable. As you guys saw at conference, right? Or if you watched the video, like we went back to the living room area where I gave my presentation. That's where they're comfortable. That's where they're used to talking about themselves. That's where they're used to hearing from me. And it's kind of secluded. So it's our one-on-one time together where it's just the two of us, okay? Let's see what other notes I have here. Okay, and so I also set up, so once I get them going and ready for my one-on-one time, I will set up my paperwork, and my catalogs, and my flyers, and just have them laying out at my station, and just set like my chair and their chair or a piece on the couch so they know they sit right next to me. Okay, so just setting up that space. Can you guys mute your phones, please? Okay, so then the last part is the conversation. Okay, once I get everybody going, I take pictures for the host or I do a live video. Then I start with the person, like I said, that wanted to book or looks like they're having fun, or I just want to talk to first, like someone that I just jived with during the presentation. Okay, I'm excited. I pull them over. I say, hey, when you get to a stopping point, let's chat. And I just want to see their cover. I've been involved in their conversations, and I'm just leaning over, kind of, waiting for them to get to a stopping point. And then I'm excited as I'm walking back with them. I'm like, hey, tell me what you're loving. What are you excited about? Tell me about your family. Tell me mealtime. Just getting them really excited. So I have extra energy, just getting them talking about what they're excited about. So then we sit down and I just let them empty their cup. Okay. So I asked them about all those things. And usually from the presentation, when they spoke, I know, okay, you just said you had 5 kids. Tell me about that. Do you have picky eaters? What are you loving? That type of thing. Just asking questions to different people based on what I get from them. Okay, so you'll feel like you've asked all the questions and they've emptied their cup, because they'll just start talking about dinner time. Like, what's dinner time like for you? Do you like to cook? Do you not like to cook? So those are just some ideas of questions that I ask. I don't ask all of them, okay, but just asking those questions, getting them to empty their cup. Okay. And there's been exciting things announced. I think I've heard someone was pregnant before they even told anybody else. Okay, so there's a lot of really neat things that come out here, okay? But that's what we're there for, okay? Let them empty their cup. They cannot learn anything new or hear anything else that you have to say until they've emptied their cup. And you'll know when they're done. And you can even ask, if they haven't talked much, say, tell me more about that. Tell me more about that, okay? And the biggest, most important thing here is, don't talk about you. Okay, nobody cares that you had a horrible dinner time last night too. Okay, crying kids too. Okay, so it's all about them. It's not about you. Okay, and that's really hard. And so I do a lot of, oh man, you're amazing, or ooh, or ah, like, just it sounds weird when I say it now, but it doesn't when you're in person. Okay, so just don't talk about you. Just empathize with them and just let them empty their cup. Okay, and so then I talk about the meal planning options. So tell me where you fit on the make ahead, the make fresh, and the make fat. What did you feel like you were the best fit on, and what did you like the most? And so we go through those kind of options and make sure they understand those. Okay, and then we go from the whale and then move to the fish. Okay, so start with the whale and move to the fish. I love this phrase. Okay, so what that means is, when I get done letting them talk and talking about the options, and I say, okay, we talked about 3 ways to Wildtree: as a rep, as a host, and as a customer. That's whale to fish. I'm starting big and I'm ending small. Okay, so we talked about as a rep, as a host, as a customer. Where do you feel like you fit, or what questions do you have? Okay, everybody got that? Johnny says no. Can we say it again? Uh-oh, I lost you guys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Okay,
Kathy.
okay. So that's where I just go through as a rep, as a host, as a customer. And the big thing here is, I'll give you guys some examples of conversations. So say they say to me, I'm going to be your best customer ever. I say, okay, so you're saying you don't ever want to host? You don't ever, you don't have any friends you think you could help? You wouldn't want to have a fun night like you had tonight? You just said you love doing this. And they'll say, well, I don't mean ever. I mean, I just can't host till October. And I'm like, well, that's perfect because I have one date open in October. Okay. So I'm always going up one. Okay. So say they say, I think I want to host something. Let's talk about a date. And I say, okay, so you don't ever want to be a rep. Like you're totally on board with hosting. You're ready right now. You don't have any questions about what I do. Okay. And that's in a non-threatening pull energy way. So does that make sense to you guys? Okay. So we're always going up one. All right. Now, if they say I'm going to be your best customer ever, I don't say, you mean you don't want to be a rep? Okay. I don't go up two. I go up one. Okay. So that's the non-threatening kind of way. And it's amazing. That's the way right there that you have conversations about being a rep. And that's the way you have conversations about booking, because most people go from customer to booking very easily because they have some sort of hesitation. And that allows you to talk about their hesitation. Okay. All right, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to share on that. And then after that, I let them fill out their survey too as they come over. So you guys can work kind of the timing of that. As they come over, I'll let them fill out their survey, and then I'll go check on everybody, and then I'll sit down with them and start that conversation. I forgot that part. And then if they want to order, we talk about that last, remember, because we're going to start with the rep, host, customer. And then when we get down to customer, we'll talk about what they want to order. Either they take the order form on their own or they tell me what they want to order and I write it down. Okay. So we just always go through that order. So then after I talked about being a host, we set a date and say, okay, now let's talk about being a customer. You said the best customer ever. What did that mean to you? Okay. So just asking them questions and solving their hesitations. Okay. And I think I'm gonna stop there, Annie, because I could go on all day long on it, but I think that's a good start. I can't wait to hear you guys getting some bookings and conversations out of this. Okay. Any questions about what I just spoke about? And then we'll let Annie take over.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
And not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, go ahead.
There we go. Have you incorporated the app stuff yet into that? And if so, how have you done that so far?
Yeah. So when I do my presentation, the last thing that I do is a little competition for them all to grab their phones. I give them about 15 seconds and I literally count down, like out loud. And they run to get their phones. They have no idea why they're getting their phones. And then I have them download the app as I'm telling them the benefits. And I have them use the host code. Mm-hmm. And then the first person that shows me the referral code gets something free. And it's just something out of my bag, just something new product. And so when I'm talking one-on-one with them, when we get to the customer portion, I just let it naturally happen. Like obviously if they're going to order, I want them to order that night for host rewards. But they're the ones that decide when they order, if it's on the app or if it's that night. Okay. So if they want to order and I say, hey, I can write down your order now. We can plan it out. You want that breakfast bundle. Let's get it shipped to your door now. And then let's put your product in your app and use that going forward. And most of them are okay with that. They don't really think too much into it. And the ones that are, they want to order right then fine, let's pull out your app and I'll help you kind of set it up and we'll get that order ready too. Okay, so I just let it play out. They know their friend is hosting and they get host rewards. And so if they just want to do it and get 10% themselves, then they just do. There's no control. I don't have any control over that. So I let it naturally play out.
Okay. So do you, with each person, are you putting in what they have left over as in the pantry under the app? You're just letting them do that later?
Nope. In fact, most of the one-on-one times, I'm not even talking about the app because they want to talk about it when we're pulling up the phones. Like they've already got it loaded and they're like, oh my goodness, look, I can put this in there. Like they're talking between the circle of the room already. Like they don't even want to start making meals because now they have the app up and they're playing with it. Okay. And my host is like playing into it too. She's so excited. And, so it turns into a really fun thing where they're already playing with it. I'm like, okay, guys, let's go make meals now. Like, let's go, so they really like it. So I don't really have to talk about it much when I have one-on-one time.
Okay.
And it is in my follow-up too. So.
Okay. And then how long are your parties normally?
About 2 hours.
And that's with an average of around 12 to 15 people?
Yep, and it's because I start my one-on-one time at meal 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I do that even if I have 4 guests. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Any other questions, guys? Good questions.
Yeah, I have a question real quick. Can you share just another, like, reshare, I guess, the verbiage that you use going from each one of those examples? So go from customer to host and then host to rep.
Yeah, like the wording that I use. Okay, so if someone came and said they want to be the best customer ever, right?
Yeah.
So then I'll say, okay, you're saying you don't ever want to host or host never? Okay, so I'm real direct, and it's funny. I mean, someone's like, well, no, I didn't mean host never. I just meant I can't yet, or I can't till January. I'm like, okay, great. I already have a couple dates penciled in for January. So that's that. And then if they say, I think I want to host, can you tell me more about hosting? And they say, okay, you already kind of know you want to host. You don't have any questions about what I do, or would you be interested in the opportunity side? Okay, so I just directly ask them, and whatever feels comfortable with that person. And once you start saying it, it'll just roll off your tongue. Okay. So you're going to worry about saying it more than you're going to feel it when you say it. Okay. So if you can just get that first word, tell me about, and then you'll be going. Okay. So that's,
Katie.
and it's different every time I say it too.
Awesome.
Anybody else? I know my team's probably bored with this. They've heard me say this a million times. So no, Katie.
I don't think you can hear it enough.
Yeah.
Good. All right, Annie, I guess you're up. Did you get your bread out of the oven?
I did get my bread out of the oven, so we're good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, well, when you're cooking dairy-free, gluten-free, and egg-free, it's really particular. So I'm like, I can't let that burn.
Yeah.
And it's expensive, and so I'm like, you don't let it burn.
Yes.
So right out of the oven. So, okay, I am so excited to talk about this follow-up system. And one of the reasons is because I've been here a long time, and I felt like I never could find a follow-up system that was really, truly duplicatable. And I believe, like Kathy said, building relationships in this business is so key. And I was struggling because I couldn't remember everybody in my head, and when I had talked to them and to call them back, and I was just kind of a mess. And I tried paper, and I used the surveys, and I moved them in different ways, and it would work good for like a week or so, but then if a kid was sick or something in life happened and I got behind, it just was too much for me. So here we have, this is how we got to where we are tonight. This follow-up system I've been using for about 4 to 5 weeks, and my team's been using for 2 to 3 weeks now, and everyone is giving great feedback. It's so helpful. So because I knew I needed something that not only was duplicatable, but my new reps could start right from the beginning. And that's another reason that I really love this system. So not only do I use it for my follow-up, but I'm also starting new reps on it, and it's their contact list of 100. So we have the contact list of 100 of like, hey, here's how you think about people. I'm having my new reps actually put it into this system, which is a Google Doc Excel spreadsheet you can sort in all kinds of different ways. So I love it for all these reasons because, they can start with it. It automatically turns into their follow-up system. It allows you to track conversations that you have. It allows you to put in the date you want to follow up with the people the next time. And then you can go in and sort by that date. So every day that I'm doing follow-up, I go in, I just sort by the date, boom. I've got my 10 people or 20 people, however many your goal is to follow up with, right at the top of that list. I have their telephone number. Everything is there. My conversation with them last time, whether I talked to them on Facebook or text or whatever, I can just find it quickly. I know where to look. I have a column in for like VIP if they're like a customer that, every 2 months they're ordering. And you can make it what you want. That's the other thing. It gives you freedom, as if you want to move around the columns to what makes sense and how your brain works, then move around those columns. So I have a whole training video that I'm going to post on our Grow Series page that tells you exactly how to work the Excel spreadsheet and how to do it. And then I also have the Excel spreadsheet totally blank. So be sure it's a Google Doc or Google Excel. So make a copy. Otherwise, you're posting it for the world to see. Everyone can see. So make a copy and then start filling in your people. And what I do is I also have columns in there that you can take their surveys and you can put the numbers from their surveys. And I will sort those columns when I'm like looking to follow up with just new reps, right? So I go in and I sort that column and have all my 10s at the top, and I start boom, 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 calling them just super fast. So I went from struggling to make my 10 calls because I was looking for stuff everywhere to now in about 40 minutes, I can usually do 40 to 45 calls, touches, whatever you want to call them, Facebook message, however I communicate with that person. I can get that many done that quickly. It is amazing. So I am absolutely loving it. I feel like I'm more in touch with my customers right now than I ever have been in my 7 years with Wildtree. So I just feel like, and I can feel the momentum even building because I've only been doing it, 4 or 5 weeks. And like we always say in this business, it's a, 90-day business. So I think ask me in another 4 or 5 weeks where I am, and I think it's just going to be flowing more and more, even better. So I'm getting people responding to me. The other thing is, sometimes when you follow up, you don't hear from people. And then 3 weeks later, they'll email you. And so I was like trying to find my piece of paper. Where did I put that person? Here I can just sort and I can like type in their name and search for their name and it comes up like that. I can see exactly what we did. I can change the follow-up date just like that. I mean, I love it. So I know Kathy's been using it a little bit and for just a little while.
Paula's been using it too.
Oh, good.
You're on mute, Paula. You're on mute, Paula.
So
yeah, we can't hear you.
Trying to think of what else. I wrote down a couple notes. I mean, I love it. I'm not rewriting stuff all the time. Like I was like moving Post-it notes in my book. I was just a big old mess, you guys. So I am really, really liking this. The other thing I'd add to that, I guess, is how I do my follow-up. So, Kathy kind of ended with here, she's talking to her people and where they're going next. So I would go home from that party, add them to my database, that I'm going to give you guys, add them to yours, and then everyone's going to get a thank you. That night or the next morning, they're going to get a thank you from me. And then if they are just my best customer and that's what all I wanted to be, then they're going to get another email in 2 weeks. And so I actually put that's the date that I put in. I make sure and look at my calendar if I'm working the Monday in 2 weeks, then that's the date that I put in there. So I'm making sure that I'm not putting like a Saturday or a Sunday. I just don't work on the weekends. So I'm not putting Saturday and Sunday dates as my follow-up because that's going to mess me up. I'm only putting dates that I'm working in there. So that's just something else to keep in mind. So that's how I do, those people. Now, the people that were interested in booking and they booked a party or being a rep, or they didn't book a party but were interested in it, then those people, I'm going to send that thank you. But then the next day, I'm going to follow up again with a phone call or however I said I was going to talk to them. And then I'm going to follow up again. It's usually 5 touches within 5 days is how I do that. So I try to set an appointment with them. If it's a hot lead to talk to them, I will actually set a time within 36 hours and have that follow-up conversation. But if I don't get an actual appointment with them, then I'm going to be, day 1 or day 2. I send a thank you day 1, day 2. I'm going to touch base with them some way, phone call, email, Facebook message, whatever that is. And then I'll try and reach out in another way too, texting, whatever that is. And then on day 3, I will reach out one way, whatever they said the best way to reach them was. And then on day 5, I'll reach out again and just say, hey, trying to catch you. And then I'll put them in a month later. If I don't hear from them, I move them a month out. So that's kind of my system of the dates I'm putting in. But I'm super excited for you guys to try this. And some of the other directors have looked at it and already started using it. So I think it's
And we can give them a little tip too, right? This is going to be in all the trainings going forward. So this is it, guys. Company has adopted this. So start using it and get a pro at it.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
This will be posted on the Grow Series page, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You notice Katie's an accountant, so she's super excited about the word spreadsheet. I love you, Katie.
And it really is easy to use. And a couple of times, like I didn't know how to search for a name within a Google spreadsheet. And so I just went to Google and said, how do I search for a name? And it tells you. Then what I tried to do today, I tried to sort by 2 columns, like my reps and, the people that were 1098. And then I wanted to sort by the date of follow-up too. And so then I just Googled how to sort by multiple days. Boom, it told me. So it's super easy to figure out how to navigate for what you need. And I'm obviously excited about it. So I hope you guys love it as much as I do.
Yeah, and you have the training video and the spreadsheet. So you guys will be good because it walks you through. It's so nice.
Yep.
Hey, Annie, this
Yeah.
is Cal. I have a question about that. So
Yeah.
how do you put notes about, I like to take notes about each of my customers and kind of remember things. I mean, because that's going to be a lot of information there in a spreadsheet.
Yep.
How do you handle that?
Yeah, so I have a column. It's like the 4th column over, and it's called notes. I literally, I clip it so it doesn't take up the whole spreadsheet. I've already got that formatted to do that. And so you just start typing. And so then when I go in and look at it, I have some people I've followed up with now 5 times from, the last 4 weeks, but I can see every note that I've made on it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And I think it'll make sense when you see the spreadsheet too.
Sounds good. I'll wait to see it, and then I'll
reach out if you have any questions on it. So, yeah. What else do you guys have? If you really want a sneak peek, I'm starting one for my to keep track of my team as well, and it's awesome. It's working awesome. So same sort of theory. I just have my reps in there, so everyone that's recruiting right now, you can start with that too. Same sort of thing.
I got a question, Annie. So did you go through your contacts and export them from the database and then put them into your new spreadsheet, or are you just starting from fresh?
Yeah, so I had actually started the spreadsheet about 1.5 years ago. I just wasn't utilizing it very well. I didn't know what to do with it. I was sort of using it, just sorting my 10s and then finding it, but I wasn't as good. So when I started it 1.5 years ago, I just started fresh. My party, I just started putting them in. I did not export or do anything like that. It was just too much for me. I think it probably depends on how many customers you have.
Yeah, because a lot of people could probably do that and export their customers and just start following up with everybody again. Yep. There's so many warm leads out there already.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great idea. And then anytime I talk to somebody, so those of you that follow me on Facebook kind of see I give out Wildtree to everybody that I come in contact with. So I've had a lot of computer issues lately and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So everybody, I just take a selfie with them and hand out Wildtree. But then I put their information directly into that list. So I'm just adding to that list all the time. Like the 4 moms that I met at baseball 2 weeks ago, their name, I come home, boom, it goes in my list. The hairdresser I randomly met the other day, boom, she's in my list. So that list is growing all the time.
When you randomly hand out stuff, Annie, do you give out sample size, or are you giving out
sample size?
The sample size
card stapled to it. Hang on, I'll show it to you. So I carry around my little Wildtree bag, and then I have my business card stapled to a sample.
Oh, perfect.
So the real goal is to get their information.
Yeah.
Well, and then in 14 days, we have those little packets coming that are going to come in the kit too. So those will be amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'll use at that point is those, the new things that are coming in the kit. And one trick I've heard people say is they'll hand something out and they specifically won't put their business card on it, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm out of business cards. Can I get your information so I can follow up with you?" So that's just another trick of the trade. I think, especially as a new rep, maybe if you feel more comfortable doing that, to get their information, that might be a good way to do it. I just ask for it. I'm kind of like Kathy. You just get to the point, once you've done it enough, it just kind of, you're just like, "Hey, give me your info. I want to call and see how you like your meal." "Oh, okay." Blah, blah, blah. And they give it to me. So I think it's just, building that confidence so you feel confident asking. Then it's like no big deal for them to give it to you because they know it's your business. That's how I treat it.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Yeah. I am too. I am so excited about this system.
Oh, look at her.
She said me too. That's because I get to spend more time with her and less time working.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Right?
Pretty soon she's going to be putting the information in for you.
Oh, yes. I already told her that's her next job. She's not talking about that yet.
And I wanted to share one more thing. I recorded a video about a week ago preparing for this call. So I have a Kathy McCool video I'm going to post on the one-on-one time too. So Tegan, that'll give you some more language because I say it different every time. So I thought, well, I'll record it when I was in the mood and then I'll do it live too. So I'll have that posted too.
What other questions do you guys have tonight? All right, last call.
I think Paula's trying to ask something, but she's on mute. Do you know how to press unmute, Paula?
Here.
Oh, there we go. Now you got it.
I said, I'm just super excited. I appreciate this, Annie, because I've got papers everywhere. And then whenever I want to follow back up with somebody or somebody calls me, I can't find it's terrible. So this is going to be wonderful because I've already played with it a little bit.
Good.
But yeah, and I was using it for another purpose, but it's going to be good, especially the note part because you can keep up with everything you've done.
Yes, exactly. Another thing I use it for, like I'll sort by zip code if you want to put addresses in there, and I'll sort by zip code for those that I have. And anytime I have a party in that area, I'll shoot out a quick email to those handful of people and just be like, "Hey, I have a party in your area. If you're wanting to do meals, let me know. Come over."
Right.
So one-on-one time when you're doing like just a tasting, how do you go about that?
Well, I've never done a tasting, but if I was going to do one, and I train on them, so I would do the same thing. I would just get them kind of after my presentation. I'd say, "Hey, does anybody have to take off right away? I'll talk to you first. If not, I'll just start with somebody and make my way around the room." So it's just a natural progression. Whatever you tell them you're going to do, that's what they do.
Okay.
Just that's the remember. You be confident in it and say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do," and that's what they do.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, watch for Kathy and I to post those videos and those trainings out there. And if you guys have any questions, let us know. Be sure to tag us. A lot of times I just don't see notifications. So if we don't answer, it's probably because something happened and we just didn't see them. So just be sure
and post your good news too, guys. We like hearing how things are working and kinks, or if you need to hear more language or anything, we'd love to hear that kind of stuff. So we know if it's working or not working and how we need to train. So please share.
For sure.
Yeah. And we get to hear from Tegan next week, right?
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah. All right, so let's see if you guys can, how many customers are you going to get in that customer spreadsheet next week? What's some goals? Let's hear it. I'm unmuting you. Oh.
Now the reps that have been doing this for, I don't know, a month or two should have 100, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone should have 100, right?
Yeah.
Because
yep. Right? Good.
It's just getting them all in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just, you know, start small, do 10 a day, right? And even if you're just adding their name and the way that you're going to contact them and the next date you're going to contact them, just start with that. Don't feel like you have to add everything. Like my spreadsheet, there's tons of people. That's all I have in there because I don't have any other information. I just message on Facebook. Okay. So don't feel like you have to have all the information. You get to decide what's in there and what's not in there. Just start getting them in and start doing the follow-up. So
I committed to 75 calls a week. Actually, 100 calls a week, but 75 for a certain perspective, but and 25 recruiting. And so I literally pulled all of my customer care surveys into a huge pile on my couch. And after my kids go down, I have a huge ottoman and they're all spread out. And I'm like threatening their lives right now. Like there are 4 of them out there without any supervision. I'm like, don't you touch my piles. But this is perfect. So I'll just put my laptop on my lap and enter them into the system. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be good for you because you're a lot of electronic anyways. So that'll be perfect.
I'm actually like super paper. Annie knows this
Really?
about me. To convert me to electronic for 3.5 years. And I'm like,
that surprises me because you're so like Facebook and so, I don't know, good with
like totally paper.
I am blown away, Tegan, blown away. Oh my.
But if it really works the way that you guys are like super geeked out about it, like I will be converted because I literally have my Google Drive app right here on my phone.
Yeah.
So I can just literally pull it up and go.
You're going to geek out. I mean, you know how you get your freak, you're going to
convert me. Freak your freak.
Freak your freak, girl.
I'm ready.
Awesome. All right, you guys, have a fantastic week. We'll see you here next Thursday with Tegan leading in social media. She's the big guru. So
yes, bye guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thank you so much.